Hello, everyone, and welcome into Coach Craig Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for today, Monday, March 13th. And pretty much what we'll be doing since Friday's video, we'll be doing no recap, but we'll go over the injuries in play for today's 7-game slate. Talk about my core picks over on DraftKings and FanDuel as well. But with that being said, without further ado, we'll get into it. But if anybody does have any questions, if they're listening live or in replay, either leave them in the chat or down in the comments, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, make sure those questions are more DraftKings or FanDuel specific so I can best help you as quickly and efficiently as possible. But without further ado, we'll get into the injuries in play for today's slate overall. We have the Pacers, who are missing quite a bit of people today: Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, TJ McConnell, Miles Turner. So obviously a lot of ball handling here, especially with TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton. Andrew Nembhard likely to take over that point guard role. And then we do have Buddy Hield listed as questionable. We'll see if he plays or not. He is dealing with a toe injury at this point in time. So it should be a lot of value on this Pacers team overall, and we'll see a little bit more of that with the core picks later on. Then for the Pistons side, pretty similar story, honestly. Both these teams, not the best. Pistons essentially tanking at this point in time. Isaiah Stewart, Jaden Ivey, Hamidou Diallo, Alec Burks, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Marvin Bagley all listed as out in this game. So not a lot of talent left for this Pistons team. So Killian Hayes should have a pretty good bump in usage. Same thing with James Wiseman, Jalen Duran when he's out there on the court as well. Be interesting to see if they play those two any minutes alongside each other. Doesn't make much sense defensively, but sometimes you just got to get your best guys out there on the court. And, when you're talking about this Pistons team, it's like Hayes, Wiseman, and Durant are pretty much the only guys that should probably be playing regular minutes at this point in time. Isaiah Livers, probably that fourth option overall. Then we move over to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Noel, both are out once again. Excuse me, couldn't talk for a second there. Austin Rivers listed as questionable. He's missed their most recent game. And then we have Rudy Gobert listed as questionable, rolled his ankle the most recent game, played the rest of the fourth quarter, but supposedly has swelled up since then. So if he's unable to go, Naz Reid actually becomes a really good play at that point in time. And then on the Atlanta Hawks side, we have Bogdan Bogdanovic, excuse me. Always mix those two up. But he is dealing with a back injury. He's questionable. He missed the most recent game. We'll see whether or not he goes tonight or not. So not too much else to say there. If he doesn't go, then obviously there's more minutes to go around for guys like Sadiq Bey, Aaron Holiday, maybe. So can't really say too much about the Hawks team overall. Pretty standard Hawks team, but a good matchup against the Timberwolves in a pace-up spot tonight. Then for the Memphis Grizzlies, Steven Adams, Ja Morant, both listed out once again. Vince Williams listed as questionable, as well as Jake LaRavia, but neither one of those should factor in for DFS purposes today. For the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic remains out. Kyrie Irving listed as questionable. We'll see if he's good to go tonight or not. If he's unable to go, Dallas Mavericks is going to be a pretty good spot overall to get to. Whether you're getting to guys like Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, who played really well the last time out, Tim Hardaway Jr., you can take some shots on Maxi Kleber. You can take some shots on Reggie Bullock. You could take a shot on Christian Wood. I'm probably not going to pan out too well once again. Did that myself on Saturday. Just didn't end up working out for him since the coach likes to play Maxi Kleber instead of him. For the Utah Jazz, Colin Sexton listed as out. Jordan Clarkson is questionable after missing the past two games with wrist injury. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. Obviously, if he doesn't play, then Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to look a little bit better. Ochai Agbaji will see some more minutes as well. Then for the Miami Heat, we have Cody Zeller listed as out. I believe he broke his nose the most recent game, so probably backup minutes going to like Omar Yurtseven, maybe a couple to Kevin Love as well. And then we have Caleb Martin and Kyle Lowry, both listed as questionable, as well as Duncan Robinson, who's on the COVID protocol list at this point in time. Kyle Lowry did come back that most recent game, play over 30 minutes, but probably not the greatest thing in the world since he'd been out for a month before that. Caleb Martin didn't play the most recent game. We'll see if he's good to go tonight or not. So it could be a little bit of heat value opening up if these guys don't end up playing, but at this point in time, a little bit tighter, and some other value spots at this point in time as well. For the Boston Celtics, we got Danilo Gallinari listed as out. Peyton Pritchard listed as doubtful. Robert Williams is listed as questionable. We'll see if he's back today or not. If he's back, he's probably on some type of minutes limit anyways. Elfrid Sengun listed as probable to play for the Houston Rockets. You could play a little bit of him in GPPs if you want to do it. Been dealing with a little bit of groin strain, but seems to be good to go for tonight. Obviously, if he doesn't go, then we might see like Jabari Smith move over to center, Tari Eason start at power forward tonight. That'd be something interesting to see, and those guys could take a little bit of a bump up as well. Or we could see, like a Boban lineup. We could see like a Usman Garoba lineup or something like that too as well. But be interesting to see just if Sengun didn't play, what would actually happen in that case. Then the 2 late night games. So we have the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, Landry Shamet, both listed out once again. So no real changes here from their most recent game. And then for the Golden State Warriors, we have Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, both listed out once again. Jonathan Kuminga listed as questionable. He was unable to go the past 2 games for them. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. Draymond Green listed as probable. And then Andre Iguodala, I believe, is listed as probable as well for tonight's game. Then we move over to the Milwaukee Bucks. Wesley Matthews is listed as probable to play. He had missed the most recent games, a couple of them actually, but not really a factor for DFS purposes. Giannis listed as questionable. We'll see whether or not he plays tonight or not. They are on the back-to-back, so maybe they'll rest him today, play him tomorrow, and they'll rest Chris Middleton tomorrow. That would be something to watch out for this Bucks team overall. If he's unable to go, then obviously you get some Drew Holiday exposure, get some Chris Middleton exposure, and a little bit of Bobby Portis, maybe even a little bit of Brook Lopez as well. Probably more so Brook Lopez on DraftKings than on FanDuel, since he's gone up quite a bit on FanDuel's side. And then for the Kings, they're all the way healthy at this point in time. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. The main ones we're going to be watching, once again, Giannis is going to be a big one. Robert Williams to a certain extent, but it more affects everybody else than him. Jordan Clarkson will be another one we'll watch out for. Some of that Heat news. And then obviously Kyrie Irving is going to be a big one. Rudy Gobert is going to be a big one. And then Buddy Hield is going to be a pretty significant one on tonight's slate as well, because if he's playing, he's going to look pretty good. But if he's not playing, then obviously there's going to be even more value on this Pacers team tonight. Be interesting to see who they start in that situation, whether they go to like a George Hill, Andrew Nembhard backcourt, or if they go to like move Chris Duarte up, start Jordan Nwora and Aaron Nesmith together. It could be a lot of interesting ways to go about it. They could start Shea Brissett and move Nesmith up as well. But with that being said, we're going to get off the injury page at this point in time. We're going to get over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks for today. So on the DraftKings side, we have Killian Hayes at $5,700. Pretty much playing with a bunch of G Leaguers besides James Wiseman and Jalen Duran tonight. No offense to those guys that are playing, but they're not really the top talent in the world. This Pistons team's not really trying to do too much. If Killian Hayes gets the minutes that he got on Saturday, once again, going to look like an excellent play. Currently, I'm projected for about 31 points, but does offer some pretty good upside for more as well, as long as he gets the minutes, and it's a really good matchup tonight against the Pacers. Then at shooting guard on the opposite side of that matchup, we got Andrew Nembhard, who is $5,000, looking for 25 points at him. Obviously, when you look at the season, it's only 20 points per game, but in the games that he's played without TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton, that usage rate is way, way up when he doesn't play alongside one of those guys. And when you look at all the other talent that's kind of around him, he's one of the better options that the Pacers do have at this point in time. So currently I'm projected for 29 points. Does definitely have some upside for more as well, as we've seen in some of these situations throughout the season. And then we move down to small forward. I'm going with Chris Duarte here at $4,200, kind of a GPP pay down option, but you could probably play him in cash if you really wanted to. But $4,200, looking for 21 points down. Currently, I'm projected for about 23 tonight. If Buddy Hield's unable to go, going to get some extra shots tonight as well. So that will be an even more uptick for him overall. Going against the Pistons, this is 2 bad teams really playing against each other. So should be a pretty back and forth game, paced up game. And a lot of these guys that are cheaper values are going to look pretty good from this game overall. Then at power forward, went with Maxi Kleber at $3,500. We're looking for 17, 18 points at him. He's been playing 26 minutes a game since he pretty much came back from obviously the injury and then the second injury with his hamstring. So looking for, you're getting most of the time about 20, 21 points at him, sometimes 22. You're pretty just solid value overall. If you get some extra minutes, if he sneaks in a couple extra shot attempts and those start going down like he's done in the past, Maxi Kleber is going to be very interesting tonight. But he's one of a plethora of guys in that power forward range. You could look at him. You could look at Omonuri. You can look at a couple different guys right around that same price tag. But Maxi Kleber just ended up being my favorite overall today. That is a game against Memphis too, which Memphis typically is a faster paced team, maybe a little bit slower without John Morant, but still like to play pretty fast. Dallas likes to play pretty slow, so kind of see how that shakes out. But if Kyrie doesn't play, there's extra shot attempts to go around just in general as well. And then last but not least, at center position, went with Isaiah Jackson here. I expect him to be really popular because he started last time out and he played pretty well. If he doesn't start today, then whoever starts could be in play, whether it's him, Jalen Smith. I think they still have Daniel Tice floating around, but mainly Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson be the ones to target. If you want to get a little bit different, play some Jalen Smith. If Isaiah Jackson starts, if Jalen Smith starts, maybe you still play Isaiah Jackson, kind of flip flop back and forth if you're building out multiple lineups. But at $4,600, we're looking for 23 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 26. Does have some upside for more as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed on the DraftKings side, you'll have $27,000 exactly remaining, $9,000 per player remaining. So you can pretty much pay up for anybody you want for your last spots. Definitely a lot of different good pay up options on tonight's slate overall. Mix and match your favorite. If you're building multiple lineups, maybe you just keep this core 5 and then keep mix and matching the star players. Or maybe you kind of mix them, play a lot of star players that are similar, and then you flip flop that spot with Maxi Kleber to Omen Yuri to some of the other guys as well. But with that being said, I'm going to get over to FanDuel, talk about my FanDuel picks as well. As always, these picks are subject to change as the day moves along. There's going to be a handful of injury news that we will see throughout the day as well. Then on the FanDuel side, at point guard, going with Killian Hayes, he's $6,400. So looking for 32 points out. He's got pretty good upside once again, going against the Pacers. Pace up spot, going to get a usage rate bump with, the guys he's playing with. Glorified G Leaguers at this point in time, outside of James Wiseman, Jalen Duran, maybe Isaiah Livers, if you want to call him a step above that as well. So he's going to look pretty good today overall. If he gets as many minutes as he did on Saturday, going to look even better. And, if his shot's going down, it's going to look even better as well, since he's not the greatest shooter in the world. But I digress. 3,200, or we're looking for 32 points out. I'm projected for 31, 32 on the FanDuel side tonight. Steals could help him out a little bit as well, kind of going against Nembhard and whoever else is going to do some ball handling duty for the Pacers today. Maybe George Hill, I guess they got floating around too. But I do like Killian Hayes quite a bit once again today. Then at shooting guard, Andrew Nembhard pops up once again, $4,900, looking for 24, 25 points out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 29 on FanDuel as well. Definitely has a ton of upside for more as well, since we've seen in the games with no Tyrese Haliburton, with no TJ McConnell overall, his usage rate goes up, his assist rate goes up, and he turns into a very different player when those guys are out. Then at small forward, I went with his teammate and Buddy Hield here at $6,500. We're looking for 32, 33 points at him if he does end up playing today. Not sure how serious this injury is, or if it's really like an injury, or if it's just them like resting guys to kind of tank a little bit as well. So that will be something to monitor throughout the day. But if he plays, currently I'm projected for 34, 35 points. Looks pretty decent overall, going against the Pistons team. You can't really say too much bad about that matchup overall. So I do like the upside that he does present. If he doesn't play, then obviously you could go to like a Chris Duarte, who we mentioned on the DraftKings side as well. Very reasonable price tag on FanDuel as well. Then at power forward, ended up on Isaiah Jackson. He's $4,600 on FanDuel as well. He is only power forward eligible on FanDuel. Jalen Smith is power forward and center eligible. So that's kind of an interesting difference there overall. And I believe Jalen Smith is power forward and center eligible on DraftKings as well. But Isaiah Jackson, going against the Detroit Pistons, pretty good matchup. If he ends up starting playing in the good minutes once again, don't really have any concerns here. You're looking for 23 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 26 tonight. Does offer a little bit of upside for more as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, I ended up on John Collins today. Not like the sexiest pick in the world, but, with some of these pay down options, if you want to move him up to power forward, pay up for a different center like a DeAndre Ayton or someone like that, you can definitely do that on tonight's slate overall. If Rudy Gobert gets ruled out, this pick will be Naz Reid. I'm just going to say that right here and now. But, I do put out my updated core about 20, 30 minutes prior to lock as well. But right now, it is John Collins. He's been seeing that uptick in minutes once again. Obviously, if Bogdanovich doesn't play, it helps his minutes out a little bit more, since Sadiq Bey might not play as much as the 4. He might play a little bit of 3, and they might play alongside each other a little bit more. Going against the Timberwolves tonight, a very good pace-up spot as well. Currently have him projected for the 25 points that you're looking for out of him. Does offer a little bit of upside for more as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side for tonight, you'll have $32,600 remaining. Just under $8,200, good amount of pay up for pretty much anybody in time. Kyrie Irving plays, he's going to be looking like a very, very excellent play on the FanDuel side tonight. And then obviously got picks like Giannis if he ends up playing, but that is a much later game too. So you want to have a little bit of flexibility in your lineup if you're going that direction. But you can always switch him down to Domantas Sabonis. Just make sure you have like another player that you could pay up from as well at that situation. But with that being said, that's pretty much what I do have in terms of NBA DFS core picks for today, March 13th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to list them down in the comments below. Or if you're still listening live on the excuse me, or if you're listening live, you can drop it in the chat. Feel free to note whether those questions are more DraftKings or FanDuel specific, just so I can help you as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And then with that being said, I'll be listing all the injury updates throughout the day down in the comments. I'll be listing starting lineups down there as well. And then my updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock. But with that being said, that's really what I have for today's video, for today's live stream. If anybody does have any last minute questions before I get out of here, feel free to drop them in the chat. But do appreciate you checking out the video, the live stream, whether you're watching live or on replay. Definitely does mean a lot to me. And if you're someone that is brand new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, primarily NBA DFS as well as XFL DFS right now. Yesterday in the XFL DFS, I was able to get a first place finish in both the quarter and the dime contest. So $150 off the 35 cents there. So be sure you're checking out some of that content. Very efficient so far. Week 4 was the best week so far, but hopefully week 5 will be even better as well. Hard to get better than first place in some of those contests, but hopefully getting higher up in some bigger contests as well. So definitely be sure to check that out. A lot of good resources out there. Probably doing a live stream for that tomorrow afternoon, and then Friday afternoon as always, I believe. Unless there is a Thursday or Friday game this week, then I might bump that up to Thursday. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely be sure to check that out. Also, be sure to check out my Twitter at CoachCraigSport for NBA prize picks, for some XFL prize picks here and there as well. So if you're on prize picks, definitely be sure to check that out. If you are brand new to prize picks, I'll throw up the banner here with my little code. Use this code when you first sign up. You get 100% match deposit, I believe up to $100. Helps you out a little bit. I get a little bit of a bonus off it. Helps me out a little bit, but definitely want to help you guys as much as I can, especially when it comes to prize picks. So definitely make sure you're looking out on Twitter there. If you got any questions related to prize picks, you can always throw them on the YouTube comments as well. But with that being said, that's really what I have at this point in time for today's video. Definitely do appreciate everybody that did take the time out of their day to tune in. Definitely means a lot to me. And I hope that each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.